Hey y'all, welcome to Paige's Perspective, where I help you find your inner strength to cope with life. Last week, I talked on how to recognize the root of anger, and this week I want to discuss the difference between being angry and being aggressive. A lot of the times, we don't know how to release our anger in a way that's beneficial or productive. Just because we are angry doesn't mean we get to lash out at others. Yes, we need to stand up for ourselves, but standing up for ourselves doesn't mean losing our shit. We've all been there. We've all let our anger get the best of us, but I'm here to remind you it's okay to change the way you react. When someone harms us, crosses a boundary, or betrays us, we're naturally going to become angry. And the first thought that comes to mind is, they need to know that I'm angry. They need to understand my pain. They need to do something about it. And you're right. People do need to know if you feel they've done harm. However, we need to remember that we are expressing ourselves to share our feelings and not to change someone and their behavior, because life doesn't work that way. Some people are not going to hear you, and you will drive yourself crazy defending yourself to someone who doesn't care to change. Anger is a valid emotion. Being aggressive because of our anger may do more damage than good, not only to others, but us as well. Also, when we are aggressive and children are around, they will learn that anger means aggressive. Being emotionally mature means recognizing that just because we feel angry doesn't mean we have to act on it in destructive ways. Being aggressive may provide temporary relief, but it doesn't solve any issues. There's a cycle of chaos in many of these relationships. When we respond aggressively, it can fuel the fire and give them something to deflect the real issue on. So for example, your partner lied to you. Of course you're angry. You're furious. You want to lose your mind. So you do. You call them out. You say mean things. You yell at them. And what do? They use it against you. See? You're the crazy one. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Listen to yourself. You're too sensitive. This is deflection, taking the heat off of them and the real issue of what made you angry in the first place. Never mind the fact that they betrayed your trust, crossed your boundaries, and made you feel like a total idiot. You yelled. That's what they're going to focus on, which is complete bullshit. I agree, but hear me out. The actual problem will not resolve because we lose our shit. It just doesn't work that way. Aggression focuses on releasing anger rather than solving problems. If your anger turns into aggression, it shifts the focus away from the real issue, such as needing honesty, safety, respect, accountability, whatever your values are, and gives the addict or abuser an excuse to dismiss your needs. And this can be used against you. They haven't listened to you before. What makes you think that this time is going to be any different? No amount of communicating, even in a healthy way, will get them to see your side because they're not willing to listen. I know you want to exhaust all of your communication skills before you throw in the towel, but being aggressive will not change a thing except give us temporary relief. Shifting our communication style isn't to get them to see our side of things. It's to stand up for ourselves and speak how we feel. This is why I feel statements are powerful, because it keeps you in control of how you feel. So what can being aggressive do to you? It can erode your sense of self. It can leave you feeling worse afterward. You might feel ashamed, guilty, or even more trapped in the situation. When we're aggressive, it can chip away at our identity, which makes us feel disconnected from who we truly are. It can make us feel disconnected from our authentic self. And over time, this disconnection can make you feel even more helpless, more trapped, or even like you're becoming someone you don't recognize. I've seen this so many times where wheelies cannot recognize who they are anymore and respond in ways they typically wouldn't. This is what living with a manipulator will do to you. Building yourself back up comes from learning how to respond in a healthy way again. Anger often masks deeper emotions like sadness, betrayal, fear. There's a whole bunch of them. And when it's released aggressively, it can prevent you from connecting with and validating those underlying feelings. Without processing those emotions, it's harder to give yourself the compassion you deserve, compassion that might help you heal and make empowered decisions. We got to feel the feels and not necessarily act on impulse based on how we feel. You got to ask yourself how being aggressive brought on anything productive in the past. Sure, you got your feelings out and felt temporary relief, but did it solve the underlying issue? I'm guessing not, because life would be so easy if we got our needs met by being aggressive. It seems too good to be true because being aggressive is a simple way to respond to anger. But many of us never learned how to regulate our emotions and question them and respond in ways that benefit us. Aggression might feel like a way to reclaim power in a situation where you've felt powerless for too long. It may feel like you're standing up for yourself, but standing up for yourself means taking action. True power comes from controlling your responses, not from reacting in ways that mirror the behavior of the addict or abuser. Managing your anger constructively protects your integrity. It keeps you connected to your values and allows you to make decisions that reflect your long-term mental and emotional health. You don't need to become aggressive to be strong. Setting boundaries and staying true to yourself are the ultimate acts of strength. When someone crosses your boundaries, sure, get angry, but what are you going to do about it? Boundaries protect you. You have to enforce them and understand that when they are crossed, it isn't on the other person to change. It's on you to do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. So, how do we react? What are the ways to deal with the anger that is justified? Tell yourself it's okay to be angry. It's your body telling you something needs to be addressed. It's okay. Give yourself a safe space within yourself to be angry. Pause, even if it's for a few minutes, maybe even some hours, or it could be some days. It's okay to take a step back and not respond immediately. This may piss some people off, but it doesn't matter. It's important to collect yourself first. Ask yourself what you're really angry about. Look at the feelings wheel if you have to break it down. Are your boundaries being crossed? Are you being betrayed? Are you feeling unsafe, unheard, overwhelmed? These are all valid reasons to be angry, but figure it out. Get to the root of it so you can have more clarity. Choose assertiveness, not aggression. Assertiveness being assertive is about expressing your anger clearly and directly without being hostile. It communicates your needs and boundaries in a way that others can understand without creating unnecessary conflict. So aggressive would be, you always mess things up. You always do this. You do that. Just like you, pointing the finger. Being assertive is saying, I'm angry because I expected something different and this keeps happening. I need it to change. By being assertive, you stay in control of your emotions and your message, making it more likely that your needs will be heard. Even though you most likely won't be heard in these types of situations, it's more about you and living by your values. I know I don't like it when people call me out in ways that are super blaming or shaming or in my face. I do really well when it's addressed in a way that could be productive and how the other person feels instead of throwing it in my face. People don't respond well to this type of aggression at all. Okay, I'm going to reference my kids again because they teach us a lot about life. They don't do well when we are aggressive towards them. They do so much better when we get to their level and have conversations. Bossing them around may work at school, but at home, it's a different story. We are supposed to be their safe space, which means teaching them how to respond to anger and all the emotions instead of shaming them for doing wrong. Again, we all do this because we naturally respond to our emotions instead of pausing and learning how to respond effectively. It's hard to learn how to communicate differently. This is probably one of the most challenging things in growth, in my opinion, because we aren't really taught how to do this unless we go to therapy or by trial and error. My mom is actually really great at showing me how to not allow my emotions to dictate how I respond. She led by example there, but it doesn't mean to suppress our anger. We just need to release it in ways that are productive. Take action. Use the anger as fuel. It's meant to tell you something. Ask yourself, is there something I can change about this situation? What actions align with my values and long-term peace and contentment? For example, anger may signal that it's time to leave a toxic relationship or enforce stricter boundaries. Taking intentional action gives your anger purpose. It's important to talk to people who can support your growth, not just fuel your anger. Venting to someone who encourages you to stay angry without offering solutions can keep you stuck. This is where we come in handy because we validate your anger, but we help you grow from it instead of staying stuck in it. And rather than viewing anger as destructive, see it as a force for good when channeled properly. Anger can become the catalyst for positive change, reminding you that you deserve better and giving you the courage to make hard but necessary choices. It's a sign that your values or needs have been violated, and it's calling you to take action. By acknowledging it, pausing to reflect, setting boundaries, and taking intentional step forwards, you can turn anger into a tool for growth and empowerment. The goal isn't to avoid anger. It's to use it wisely so it becomes part of your healing process rather than another obstacle in your way. Standing up for yourself means honoring your needs, your values, and boundaries, even if you are met with resistance and discomfort. It requires self-respect, self-awareness, and emotional courage to speak and act in alignment with who you are, especially when others try to invalidate or dismiss you. For those in difficult relationships, standing up for yourself is not just about confrontation. It's not about telling people how it is. It's not about verbally defending yourself. It's about reclaiming your worth and refusing to accept mistreatment. The words we use to confront someone isn't enough. It's action. For me, I don't get nearly as aggressive as I've been before. I don't like the way it makes me feel physically. My heart rate rises, my blood pressure goes really high. I just feel off for days. And I don't like the way I act towards others. I always feel really guilty. So I was forced to change my reactions, and they're way healthier and more productive than any yelling I've ever done. Plus, having a healthier environment helped a ton too. I feel like I could talk on this subject for a long time, and we have an episode on anger that digs deep into it if you're interested in that, to get Matt's perspective as well. I have seen where we are blamed for our anger and asked to suppress it because it causes more issues, and I think that this is bullshit and it's victim blaming. The person who lied, betrayed, manipulated, gaslighted, all the things, that's the person who has caused a lot of the anger and a lot of the issues. Be angry, use it as fuel. Don't be aggressive, and understand that you have the power to make significant changes with the anger you have. If you don't use it as a tool, it will eat you alive and no problems will be resolved. We have a communication module in our Independently Strong program that may help you in this area as well. Use discount code Wheelies75 for 75% off. You also get access to others taking the course in a weekly community meeting with me that is growth oriented. Go to independentlystrong.com for more info. And that's all I have for this week. Until next time, I'm Paige. Bye.